Hi, everyone. My name is Sabah Bano Malik. I'm the host of Full Disclosure and also a person on the internet.
Woo! Hi, I'm Elhaam Shaikh. I manage City FM 89. I am the programming head there. And I may not exist on the internet, but I exist in real life. Also, feminist
Whoa,
AF.
whoa. You go, girl. You go, girl. Hi, my name is Saira Omer, and I have been working for Dawn News since the past 9 years. I am heading the infotainment department and DN Sport, which is a sports digital wing for Dawn Media Group or Dawn News. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure that out also. I love to play sports and I love to dance. And yeah, that's me. This is me. Real life, right here.
Hi guys, I am Ibbad Ali Shah. I am the General Manager of Marketing, Sales and Operations for TV. I hope you guys have heard of it. It's a content creation platform. I'm also the Marketing Manager for Dawn TV. Most importantly though, Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day, guys. Happy Women's Day. So do we all know Okay, over to Elhaam, sorry.
We do know. And on that note, considering it's Women's Day, we'll be talking about how it feels to live in a man's world, because it's Women's Day. Naturally, of course. So I was thinking we could maybe have like just a little bit of a chat about what it feels like to live as a woman in a man's world and as a man. So sorry, Bart, for dragging you into this, but we need to get your perspective in as well. So talking a little bit about security for that man, like just for example, when you're in a car and you're driving, you're alone in the car, you stop at a traffic light and two chaps on a motorbike come up next to you. You look out the window, you make eye contact. What's the first thing that goes through your mind, Sabah?
Sabah's in front of the spot. Yeah.
Was my music too loud? What are they looking at? I lock my doors. I hold my purse closer. I immediately start looking at my phone so they know that I have the ability to call for help. Sometimes you rifle around in your the little pocket in your door so they think you have a gun. Because my immediate thought is that there is a threat to my safety. I know it's a little paranoid, but
For me, I think it would be living in Karachi. It would be the idea of mugging, but I think it stops there. So if I was in the car at a signal, I would probably hide my personal, the Menga wala phone, and put forward the Sasta phone, ready to be mugged. And apart from that, just be ready to run. But yeah, mugging would be pretty much the only thing I would obviously think of.
So it's a mindset, right? Like two very, very different like trains of thought happening here. Where Sabah, the first thing she does is pulls out a phone to show them that, look, I have people I can call if you attack me. Whereas you're hiding your phone. Saira, what do you do?
Okay, so for me, it's a mixture of Ibbad and Sabah. Okay, so like I've tuned myself into believing and thinking that I've gotten it handled. I'm in a safe place. At the same time, there have been instances where I feel like, oh my God, a car or a bike just like stopped right next to my car, and I've been mugged twice, by the way. Twice I've been mugged. Once I took the car and I ran, and the other time I actually had to give in. So yeah, there is a bit of a paranoia stemming from experience that I had. My first thing is lock the cars and being extremely alert. Like my hand, my leg, my feet is on the escalator thing. I am ready to run. Like I am going to fly so fast that they won't be able to catch me. Those are my cues for if I were to ever be in a situation like that, which I have.
I'm so sorry that that's happened twice. That's crazy. I just want to add that twice in my life I have been run off the road by a man or by men. Once a man in his car chased me for probably a solid 25 minutes before eventually getting me off the road. Thankfully, it was broad daylight, and thankfully I was able to zip out of there. And then a second time, it was two boys, what it appeared to be teenage boys. I'm a full woman, so to me, they are bachas. on a bike who, from the exit from my house the entire way, if I have my Pindi people in the house on IJP Road, which is a nightmare, they chased me, they cut my car off, they would zoom up, then speed down, they would hit their fists on my window in an attempt to get me to pull over. And in this scenario, I'm almost positive it was not for a mugging and it was for something a bit more nefarious. So that is why my instinct is like,
I'm so sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's not even like, I'm in Karachi for sure. I'm like mugging, getting robbed, hell no. But I would say my first instinct is always like, there is a threat to my personhood that is about to happen, my physicality. So yeah.
So unfortunately, this is not like a good sample because there's 3 of us and there's Ibbad. But 8 out of 10 times, men think very differently to women when it comes to security. Literally. I mean, over here we can see where just something simple as sitting in a car and having someone come up behind you, men are thinking, oh, worst case scenario, I'm going to get mugged. Whereas a woman is thinking, worst case scenario, am I going to make it home in one piece? Am I going to be picked up? Am I going to be worse? So many things pop into your head. It's like a whole list of things that could go wrong in that kind of a situation. And it's not just sitting in a car or going somewhere. It's anywhere. For example, going out at night. As a woman, what's the first thought that pops into your head if you go out late at night alone, as opposed to a guy going out late at night? I mean, first thought, are you going to come home? Would be my first thought. Am I going to make it back home? Am I going to be okay?
Yeah, I think, although I live solo as a woman here, but through I've lived in Pakistan now 10 years this year. And each year, my going out late at night, I actually think has decreased, even though I'm older now. And, you equate like freedom with age, right? But it's not only is it, am I going to be okay? Am I going to get home safely? But it's, I don't trust who I'm going to cross on my way home, which includes people who are meant to be there for my safety, right? So for me, it's not even as scary sometimes of what am I going to meet on the road? It's what do I know I have to cross to get home? What is that? And if they're in a mood today, what does that, God forbid, mean for me? And if God forbid I have a flat tire, like I said about the previous example, everything comes down to how much am I physically in danger, because everything comes down to that. I think, and late at night, it's from every angle, because it's not like we're wrapped with CCTV around here that there's going to be any evidence or anything to come, and people know that. So yeah.
And what are they going to do with that evidence? Unfortunately. Okay, so that's just how we feel, right? What about the people around us? What about our families? Like, I remember every time I'm out late at night, my parents will text me, and I'm a grown adult, but I'll get that text and I'll be like, don't come home too late. Who's with you? As opposed to, like, if I put myself in like Ibbad's place, I'm pretty sure he doesn't get those calls or texts as often as we do.
I just want to add here that I've grown up with like 3 sisters, and my mother's you could say like framework in terms of permissions and like what you guys are talking about for my younger sister is very different from my younger brother. My younger brother is actually the youngest. He's 18 years old. My sister is 21. But even then, there are a lot more restrictions on my sister than on my brother in terms of going out at night, in terms of sleepovers. And that's primarily just because of the aspect of safety. It's not that my mother doesn't want my sister to have fun. It's just that, it's the safety factor, especially living in such a country and this city. So I totally agree. I 100% agree. Like for me, if I was going, like you asked, like, what's the first thought? For me, I'm like, oh, is there fuel in my car? That's the first thought. I'm not going beyond that because I'm only worried about my plans. I'm only thinking, oh, where's mugging? But there's a lot more that's going on for like a lot of other people. So yeah, I absolutely understand what you guys are saying.
I think in Saira's case, that's her last thought. Is there fuel in my car?
It is, guys. Every time, like Ibbad said, that the first thought is that he needs to see the fuel. With me, it's the complete opposite. I would say that I am a little more of a daredevilish when it comes to being out on the roads at night, but I don't shy away from the fact that there can be a situation or an instance where something awfully wrong can happen to you. Like really, really wrong. So as growing up, I have been the youngest of my family and a bit spoiled. And the way I would carry myself, like a tomboy, and I've gotten it all covered and I can do this. So maybe there was a little leniency she's gotten it covered. Does not entirely mean that they're not worried. My mother calls me every 30 minutes of her life saying that, when are you going to come home? And that's the thought. And I'll get these alert messages, defense alert, gunpoint, somebody got marked, and DHA ke sare alert WhatsApp messages are on a day. Anything bad I get on WhatsApp from my mother on a minute-to-minute basis. But yeah, our parents are going to look out for us, guys. They will be worried. We live in a place where muggings, rape, domestic abuse, kidnappings happen on a minute-to-minute basis. So I get where they're coming from, but I try to just be the rebellious one, being out and about. I'll go quickly, I'll drive really fast, which is again really, really wrong of me. I shouldn't play with fire. Anything can go wrong, but this is something that I've been doing for a while now.
But that's the thing, right? You driving really fast is because of the reason, because of that security threat. Whereas a guy driving really fast is because he's getting cheap thrills out of it. But let's be honest, right? There's that aspect is something that my parents used to do whenever we'd be going out as a group of friends. I'm going in a group. They'd be like, "Are the boys coming with you? Will the boys be there?" Why? What's with that mindset?
Oh, this is the exact same thing my mom would say. Who's in the car with you? Do you have guy friends? Is somebody following you? Will you be the last one coming home after dropping everyone? So the guy has to drop the girl, or the guy has to tail the girl and then move forward. So I would lie. At times, I'm so sorry, mama. I would tell them, there are a bunch of boys and girls in the car and everyone's tailing each other and you all are in a safe space. But
your mom's going to be watching this video. I'm going to send it after we're done with this.
Ibbad,
from the...
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I cannot relate at all. If there's a guy in the car, my dad is in the other car driving behind, and even though he has a mustache, he's going to put a fake one on, glasses and a hat, and be like, who is this weirdo? If my father calls you a weirdo, no, he hates you. He's like, who is this weirdo with my child? Must be nice.
That's a whole other, but that still a female problem.
Sorry, I was triggered in that moment to know that people lived a different way than I did.
That's why we're all here. These are different perspectives. But like Ibbad, from a guy's perspective, I mean, you can't really relate to your dad following you in the car or like your mom following you in the car to make sure. But from a guy's perspective, you have friends who are girls. You're also going to be the one to stand up and be like, I'll follow you home. Why? Who came up with that?
Okay, so see, I'll give you an example. We were planning a trip to Thailand and there was a bunch of us friends, and most of the girls were getting permission on the basis of which guys are going, which trustworthy guys are going, and the second part, are those guys going to somewhat protect our daughters in an international space. For us, I'll be very honest, at a young age, it was just like, we're getting permission. Just say that, okay, we will drop them home. Okay, we will in Thailand, we'll look after. It was mainly just so that they can get permission at the end of the day. And that young age, that's the mindset. We get the permission, that's the goal. But you're right. I mean, I feel like even myself as a man, I've just been conditioned in a way, whether it's society, whether it's primary socialization. I'm pretty sure my sisters, they're probably stronger than me, but I, younger than my sisters, was supposed to go with them to, buy clothes from the market, to buy grocery from the store. I'm sure they were probably, if Allah something would have happened, they would have protected themselves and me. But I, being a guy, had to. So what you guys are saying, I just followed like this narrative that was given to me, actually conditioned to me. But if I had the choice at that time to say something like, okay, I don't understand what's going on or what's happening, I think that would have been an ideal situation.
For sure.
Sorry, I like that Ibbad said that his sisters could have probably whooped and protected him too. And kind of building off what Saira said, I think I similarly my personality is what it is, right? Like, I mean, I'm known for fighting men, like in real life and on the internet. It's been documented well. So I think even my parents have a bit of this, like, they won't mess. Like, they on one hand, catastrophe will always happen, but on the other hand, if someone gets like too tight with me, my dad's like, she'll handle it. But yeah, again, cannot relate to.
But again, that's a privilege. Not everyone can do that. Okay, so just closing thoughts, one by one. Do you think this mindset that we're talking about? Do you think it's ever going to change? Will families change their mindset? Will we change our mindsets? Will this thing ever stop being the way it is? The norm? Will the norm change?
I can take it first then. I don't think so, because the people in this chat, for example, yes, we are operating from a place of privilege. So, right, the words like safety, the words like I said, where there's a bit of mistrust in institutions and whatnot, that's a privileged take on why something is happening, as opposed to a cultural feeling or a feeling that they feel is backed by the correct way to live, right? So, I mean, as a country, will this feeling go away? Will women, I should say, we are women, mobility, or, will families eventually be like, oh no, it's okay? I don't know, because it feels like the mentality is continuing to tighten and get worse, and law and order is getting worse. And it's sort of like, a snake that's biting its own tail, in a way that, like, we want it to get better, but even I'm losing the argument sometimes, right? Because of the way things are. And then for people who don't have the privilege of the logical fight on this, and oppose, they have this like idea of what the proper woman is and how she behaves. I don't know. I wish it were different, but it's looking a bit tough, in my opinion.
I would have to unfortunately agree with that. I mean, if I couldn't, and I'm, again, like you said, we're coming from a place of privilege. I feel like I'm a pretty strong individual. I'm very independent, drive myself, work, drive home at night. I can't get my family, my parents, even my grandmother to change her mindset. I don't see it changing anytime soon. And also, considering if I'm sitting in that car and having the exact same thoughts, I don't see them changing. I don't see them changing anytime soon. So I don't see it changing anytime soon.
I would like to say I hope there's change, but exactly what you guys are saying, it's very unfortunate for me to sit here and agree with what both of you said. I don't think it's going to change, especially not anytime soon, for a few primary reasons. Number one would be no accountability. We've had so many cases in the past where our government, whether it's a local body, anybody for that matter, they should just take some accountability, stand up. But nobody does that. I'm sitting here, talking, like listening to you guys share your personal experiences. I can probably just share what my sisters went through. I wish I could say no, but see, in this situation, somebody came forward and helped, or somebody was held accountable. I have no such situation, number one. Number two, I feel like education and primary socialization. Till we start start nurturing these two situations, these two fields of life, I do not think we'll get anywhere in terms of change. Because wahi wali baat hai, it needs to come from our mindset. It needs to come from day one, whether it's a guy, whether it's a girl. Even for guys, for example, like on Women's Day, I'm just giving a very small example. If I wear a pink shirt tomorrow and I go after work, chill with my friends, most of them will be like, it's a very traditional, man thing to do. Okay, you're wearing a pink shirt. Oh, women's. I'm like, personally, I'm done with all of this. Like, I hope all of this changes, but it's just, it's sort of very overwhelming for sure.
I'd like to take like, are we the reason that you're like this, Ibbad? Can I take credit?
I think the credit half goes to my colleagues and half to my family, for sure.
We're like beating it out of you, the mindset. Saira, please.
I wanted to be a little positive, and I see a ray of hope. I do. But when, as Ibbad said, accountability, I went back into this dark zone with a couple of things that happened a couple of years ago, and still those people aren't held accountable. It's like out of sight, out of mind. You don't talk about it, you don't fight for it, people forget. Another news, another bad story. talk about it. Vigils, XYZ, social media influencers talking about it on Twitter. Again, forget about it. Another news. So yes, one standalone Aurat March or a standalone situation or an event won't change the game. We have a long way to go. We cannot change our parents and our grandparents, man. They're tuned to the way they have been brought up by their parents. We cannot mold a person now saying, okay, understand this. No, girls can be passionate about sports, or girls can, go out and not do the 9 to 5, or, they have been tuned into believing that job security, females should be getting married early, but they are trying, they're adapting, and they are letting us be. But it's us, which is a very small part of the entire population, right? When we talk about female empowerment, we talk about us. What about the other, like 95% of the Awam that comes from the same mindset? Man, we haven't even eradicated polio. Come on, this like you're going to talk about female empowerment and International Women's Day. Yeah, hello. Like seriously, they don't take their drops because bimariyan phail jati, koi disease hai, international conspiracy. So you have to go on a very grassroots level to educate them first, This is a debate that's going to go on for hours and hours. I'm going to cut it short. All I'll say is there is a ray of hope. Obviously, the struggles are real, but if we don't give up and we constantly fight, maybe we'll die and somebody's going to take our ethos and ideology forward. And the next and the next and the next, and probably the 4th, 5th generation might just start making waves, right? But we have to start somewhere. We all have to start somewhere. We can't give up this easy.
And on that note, I hope that this video gets like breakfall records and all of Pakistan watches it and listens to what we talked about. Stop it, Sabah. Have some hope. Like be more like Saira.
Be positive.
And, so like, comment, share it with all your friends so that more and more people get involved in the conversation, and put it down in the comments, and we can always come back and have yet another conversation like this.
Get used to the comments, Galiyan, and then we'll have another video where we're going to read out of the comments.
That's a whole other video. We'll get there. Yeah. But on this note, thank you, Ibbad. Thank you, Saira. Thank you, Sabah. And thank you to me for being here. All right,
thank you so much, Ibbad. You've been a lovely host. We have to thank you. You've been a lovely host and a moderator. And happy International Women's Day, guys. Honestly,
happy International Women's Day.
Guys.
Bye. See you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.